Now we have downloaded assets from Marketplace. Now let's see how we can use them. Open up the content drawer by pressing here, or Control Spacebar, the shortcut. It's up to you. So, content drawer. Now you see so many folders here. Now in this lesson we are going to learn how to use asset filters. So we are going to be able to find very easily any project asset, any blueprints, visual effects, sounds, models, or anything that we want to find. Now let's see how we can have multiple content browsers. So we're going to Window, Content Browser, and you see we have here 1, 2, 3, 4 maximum. So click on one. So you should have something like this. So another content browser, the same like this one here. So this we cannot turn it off. This stays here all the time. But this we can drag and drop here on the tab, and we're going to go attach it to the bottom. That way, this is going to stay here all the time. So you can either close like this or open, up to you. But we're going to learn very easy way how to navigate through all of these assets. So this is Content Browser 1. Let's go to Window again. Content Browser 2. Drag and drop, and let's put it next to it. So we have 1, 2. These are the same. Let's first close this for the time being. So we're going to explain why. We're going to open another one, Content Browser 3. Also next to it. Close this one on the left. And Content Browser 4. And again, close this one as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 content browsers. So we're going to see how we're going to use all of them separately in a much more efficient way. Now, secondly, we have to add asset filters. So these content browsers, they're going to be very good in a combination with the asset filters here. So let's add the most important asset filter. Let's click here on this Add Asset Filter. Let's go to Blueprint Class. Now let's go to User Interface. Let's add Widget Blueprint. It's important to know that don't click here on the word, just click on the checkbox, because if you click, you're going to close the menu. So the asset filter, let's go to Textures. Let's go to Texture. Click on the check mark. Let's go to Sounds. We're going to need Sound Wave and Sound Cue. Let's go to Miscellaneous. We're going to need Cascade Particle. This is going to be in correlation with Niagara system. Let's go to Materials. We're going to need Material and Material Instance. So we should have 11. We're going to need Static Mesh and Skeletal Mesh. Now let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have all these asset filters. These are at the moment switched on because there is a colors next to it. So let's switch them off. So we're going to explain them one by one. So let's say you want to find any blueprints in your game. Very important thing is to see where are you at the moment. At the moment we are in content, the beginning of the folder structure. If you click blueprint class, you're going to have all the blueprint class in this content browser specifically, and nothing else you're going to see except for blueprint class. If you want to have widget blueprints as well, along with the blueprint class, you can click on this one. If you want to have textures as well, you can click textures. So you're going to be shown in this content browser what you have selected in the asset filters. I wouldn't recommend you to select many like this because it's going to be very confusing. So let's turn them off. what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the content and I'm going to click blueprint class. So these are all the blueprints that from the whole project we have. Now let's go to content browser 2. You see there is no filters and there is nothing like content browser 1 has. So it's very different. It's separate content browser. But it has the same, of course, project files. So we have the same files, but the structure is different. So here we have asset filters, we have also selected, and content browser has nothing. So there is a small annoying thing that we must do. So that is to do it again like we did for content browser 1. So we have to select again the same ones. Let's go do it again. So asset filters. So we have blueprint class, widget blueprint, textures, sounds. Remember sound wave and sound cue. We're gonna need miscellaneous cascade. So when you select cascade, you go to Niagara, so they're going to be next to each other here because they are both visual effects. So let's go to materials. We're going to need material and material instance, skeletal mesh, and static mesh. So let's see if we have 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So again, they're all switched on. Just switch them off one by one. And that way we have the same asset filters for content browser 1 and content browser 2. Now I'm going to repeat this again for content browser 3 and 4. Now since we organize the assets, filters and content browsers, let's explain something further in case you get confused along the way. Remember, asset filters applies for the specific content browser and specific folder within our project. For example, if we are in content browser 1 and in the third person folder, the asset filters will show us assets only in this area. For example, we are in a third person, content browser 1. If we select blueprint class, we are going to have only blueprint for this specific folder and content browser. If you go to content browser 2, it's going to be totally different. So why is this important? Because, for example, let's say you want to use only blueprints and to find quickly. You can simply go content, you can just check again. And if you want to find all the blueprints in your game project, you can have it in content browser 1 and only select blueprint class. If you want to go to content browser 2 and select, for example, content, so this is the main, and let's say you want to use, or if you're using them mostly, for example, skeletal mesh, you're going to find skeletal meshes in content browser 2. So we have blueprint here in 1, skeletal meshes here, and content browser 3 we can do something else. For example, we can have all the sound waves here, so all the sound assets. We have blueprint class here, skeletal meshes only, content browser 3, we have sound wave. Remember, every time when you select a content browser, check to see which filter is applied. If you have applied, for example, sound cue here and blueprint class, it's going to be mixed. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but it's up to you. So what I'm personally doing is I'm selecting content browser 1 with blueprints, content browser 2 I'm selecting, for example, sound wave, and content browser 3 I'm going to deselect sound wave. So I'm going to need particle system, for example. This is the visual effects. And content browser 4 I'm just leaving it as it is, so I can personally go like this. It's up to you, but this is very important to find very quickly your desired assets. Content browser 1, you have everything you wanted. Content browser 2, 3, and so on. So we can have only 4 content browsers in total. If in case you get stuck or confused with the assets filters, Let's say we are in the content browser 1 and we have something, let's say, like this mixed up, like if you don't know where we are at the moment. So you can simply deselect all the asset filters and click to content, and this is the project default. So this is how you start from the beginning. So again, you can just simply either blueprint class or enter in the, let's say, in Paragon Gideon, and you can select blueprint class. So only for Paragon Gideon you're gonna see. So it's up to you how you're gonna set this up. Remember, it's very important to use asset filters that you're going to use the most. So usually we are using mostly blueprints. If you prefer this type of setup, you're going to get used to this pretty quickly, and once you do, it will save you hours of programming and searching for assets in your project, and that will be of a huge benefit of the long run. Alright, once you've done all this, in the next lesson we're going to learn how to organize our project files even better.